What we're going to do today is start building a marketing plan using the card set provided by Plantoo. First of all, I'm going to remove, there are two blank cards in the pack, which I'm going to put to one side because those are cards that I can use to create topics of my own, so I'll put those aside for later. And the tips and hints cards, put those to one side as well. Okay, now we start looking at the pack. It may be a bit daunting finding a place to start, but it doesn't really matter exactly where you start. You don't have to start at the beginning, or because you can build out to the beginning or the end. But what's important to me is I want to do a test market at some point. So I'm going to take the test market card and put that, and that's going to be my starting point. Obviously it's going to be important to finalise our marketing plan at some point, so I'm going to take that card and put it after my test market card, because I want to do my test market before I finalise my marketing plan. After we've done the test market, then I'll be able to finalise my marketing plans, and based on the findings of that test market, set timescales and create the final communications brief. Actually, developing the advertising and communication strategy is something I guess I'd like to do just before the test market, so that we can test the communication strategy at the same time as we're testing out the market. Again, before we do our test, we're going to want to set our pricing policy. And before we can set the pricing policy, there are a few fundamentals that we need to look at so far as the financial issues are concerned. These include things like calculating our break-even, projecting the market share, and doing an income and expenditure projection. And also to look at our estimated operating expenses, i.e. the costs of actually doing the marketing exercise. Before we can do a lot of that financial stuff, we're really going to have to get together the data that we need to make those judgments and assessments. So before that, we need to do some market research. Another important decision that needs to be made is who does what. We need to agree roles and responsibilities, and I think at the point that we're reviewing and appointing key people, that's the time to make that decision before we start getting involved in masses of detail. Before we go to test market, one of the things that we need to do is to identify and appoint the people that are going to help us. Probably fulfillment houses, or maybe ad agencies, PR companies. So I'm going to pop that in here. One key decision that still needs to be made is exactly what our routes to market is going to be. What's our sales strategy? Are we going to work with agents, distributors? Are we going to sell direct? I think that we need to make that decision after we've done all our market research, but before we get involved in setting our pricing policy, etc., which may depend upon our particular chosen route to market. In other words, what discount structures do we need to build in? Okay, there's still a few things that we need to be looking at. We need to consider identifying any legal requirements so that we can get those buttoned down as early as possible in the process. Identifying place, distribution. Where are our customers and how are we going to get our product to them? Again, that needs to be done fairly early on, I would suggest, while we're doing our marketing research. Will we need to set a training structure? Do we need to train people? And what about protecting our IPR, the intellectual property rights? Have we actually done the things that we need to do there in terms of copyright, patents, trademarks, design marks, etc., and at what point should we be looking at that? So there it is. That's my marketing plan, starting from setting our goals and objectives, running right through to finalising the marketing plan at the end and being ready to implement it. There's no right and wrong way to produce a plan. You create a plan that's going to work for you and for your business. We've done this a timeline, but as you'll notice, there are certain tasks like the 3 cards at the bottom: reviewing and appointing key people, agreeing roles and responsibilities, and setting training structure. These are really people issues, personnel issues, so we can put those as a separate stream running alongside the other timeline. And that flags up another great use for these cards. You can actually group them together. You can group tasks together under particular headings, and then you can use that to delegate the tasks to individual people within the group. Or another way you can use the cards is to prioritise. Take all the tasks which you want to do first, which are high priority, put them in one pile. In another pile you put the medium priority, and finally in another pile you put the low priority. Like I say, relax, enjoy it, have fun, and happy planning.